transmissions detected.
Kill them all.
Right now, this detector is looking for evidence of extra dimensions. If there are extra dimensions of a certain size and shape, this experiment will find them.
You, working again?
No, just sorting some stuff out.
Oh, well.
Do you believe in heaven above? Do you believe in love? Don't tell a lie, don't be false or untrue. It all comes back to you. Open fire.
Even as you peacefully watch TV, whole other invisible worlds could be raging all around you.
These parallel universes are in your living room. This means that in your living room, there are dinosaurs. You can't hear them. You can't see the dinosaurs that are rampaging throughout your living room, but they're there.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
Send me an angel. Send me an angel. Right now. Right now. Send me an angel. Send me an angel. Right now.
You're looking for nothing. You're looking for something that has disappeared.
What's the rate now for that?
It's very, very rare that you make a really exotic particle. So we literally have to collide them billions of times in order to find the very rare event where you make something like a particle that disappears into extra dimensions.
Send me an angel. Right now. Right now. Send me an angel. Send me an angel.
Hello, my friends. Humans have a strange infatuation with the unseen or spirit world. We play with Ouija boards and go to cemeteries at night. We summon the dead and think nothing of it. We're just playing around. It's all in good fun. However, most people are unaware of the consequences that could result if you happen to actually contact one of these spirit entities. And as a kid, some of our worst nightmares involve these unseen places and beings. How's that possible? I mean, in our dreams, we know exactly what they look like. Through the years, as we get older, some of us, there's nothing under our beds or in the closet. There's no boogeyman in the forest. We would all kid one another, if ever anything was said about aliens, We would laugh and joke about being abducted and probed by them. Everyone thought these things were, well, a figment of their imagination and someone's eyes playing tricks on them, easily explained away. Now then, we have the serious people involved in this because it's their religion. Yeah, see, aliens, or what we call aliens, have actually shown themselves to top spiritual leaders in this craft. And they've reported their presence when conjured. And just so you know, in my day, no one worshipped the other side. It was unheard of. Nowadays, it's as common as can be, and in Hollywood, it's the chosen religion. I mean, we all knew that and thought nothing of it. That is, until lately. As the years went by, a lot changed. When researching this, things didn't add up. I noticed the people who have denied this for so long are the main ones involved in the search for it, and the search for the ones who live there. And they are who said it was all nonsense in the first place. So what are they doing? Now, sure, you have the people just playing around, but in the shadows, the modern-day high priests of the sun, moon, and stars and their conjurers are still very much involved and connected with this realm, doing what they've always done. It's just technology has caught up with our imagination. And there's nothing we won't try to do. Even opening up a door to their world is, well, it's attempted using computers and machines now. Not, Ouija boards and, chicken bones and blood. Now, how do we do that? Well, it's insane. For many years, scientists have taken particles and smashed them together to see what happens, And I assume that each type of particle does something different when it hits one another and explodes, like depending on what element is used is what you get as far as the explosion and what weird things can happen. And they're masters at alchemy. I knew that they would know exactly what does what. And somewhere in the middle of all this, someone says, oh my God, I got a great idea. Now, the way they search for these unseen realms is they use the colliders to produce miniature black holes. allegedly for a millisecond. Now, after this explosion, since energy can't be destroyed, they looked to see if anything was transferred from one dimension to the other, or vice versa. That's the simplest way to explain it. Now, I won't sit here and act as if I know exactly how all this works, because I don't. It's just that I'm no fool. I knew that it was not cotton candy that they were smashing together or exploding underground. I figured it had to be something that would be poisonous and full of energy and very dangerous to be messing with. Now, apparently these colliders will produce different elements as a byproduct too, all depending on what's used. The current byproduct is radioactive tritium. It's produced and sold for paint, swatches, and signs, but it's also given to the nations of the world for their bombs. Nice. See, no way back then, when they wanted money for this, could they have pulled it off, not presenting such craziness to our parents and grandparents. Everything would have been stopped or never even started. That is, if they had been upfront on their intentions and what exactly is happening in the collider. Now it's funded whether we like it or not. Now, even if you disagree with its existence, scientists claim this unseen space is real. It's right here with us, only undetectable by your senses. This smashing particles thing can, in theory, open a doorway to this place. Now, it's pure madness, I agree, but it's seriously being attempted. I find the entire world is on board with it too. Our scientists are in full swing despite, both the known and unknown dangers of it. And if you didn't know by now, the slightest talk of supernatural beings or aliens makes them drool on themselves. Contact of any sort is all their dreams come true, every single one of them. From 20-year-old to 80-year-old. They've been waiting for this moment their entire lives, and so has every generation since the space captain heroes of the 1950s, This etheric realm is now given a scientific explanation, both for the fans and as not to make the average person aware of what's really going on. It's a very sinister thing happening in secret. I've still yet to wrap my head around these people's malfunction, But 10 years ago, to most of us, the subject of aliens or spirits seemed too far out there. We were all assured up until just recently, doctors, psychiatrists, scientists, and physicists, who were majority atheists, they told us there's no such thing, does not exist. Those were utterly fake, and it's a made-up story to scare people. For anyone to even think that they had seen demons or aliens, especially a scientist. Used to be, it was the madhouse for you. Now, how many people in history do you know that's been locked away for this? How many stories have you heard? A ton of them. Now, oddly enough, both spirits and aliens are, and have been, heavily studied by our governments. And the fact that the U.S. government didn't merely check into it in the 1940s after this alleged UFO crash, study it for a few years and quit, tells it all. That goes for all countries too. So I ask this, what did they find or learn that caused them to keep spending all this time and money for all these years? Building underground bases, using black budgets. I mean, whatever it was must have been very valuable because it keeps driving this machine. And think about this too, they could have killed us 10 times over if one of 100 things that they were doing had went wrong. But I take it the prize outweighs this danger. It always makes me think about what Solomon said, about how that elemental genie chick was like, do what you have to do, king, and one day men will find us and free us from these bonds you put us in. I mean, can you ever imagine that? I mean, if that's really true, oh God, we're in so much trouble. Now, every single day, this place gets crazier and crazier. I know you see it. Just check out the evening news reports on the ships, the crafts, the lights and objects in the sky, and we get good photos and videos now. HD. It's almost normal to see them now, whatever they are. Being that our employees are so incompetent at their jobs, I don't have any hope in their ability to, take care of this, maintain themselves, right? Keep themselves underneath a certain threshold. See, they're going to push the limits. And if anything happens, they're going to cower, all right? You think they can handle it or warn us, prepare us? Anything if something goes wrong, not a chance. If these clowns succeed, they will be scared to death and run and hide. I bet money on it, because half of them are just following along. The other half have no idea. And then you got them few people, We're going to have to deal with the ghosts and phantoms, you know that? God, who knows what that prison holds anyway? I mean, what kind of things live there? I bet it's probably not like SpongeBob or Patrick, that's for sure. But I ask you this. Did someone already open this doorway? Because we see too much for it not to be. Was it a coincidence? Things are caught phasing in and out of our realm. They seem to not care who sees them either, like they want to be seen and filmed. We got beings and ships flying around, monsters in the woods, portals and alien crafts scanning cars and neighborhoods. What's next? Fire falling from heaven or trumpets blazing? We got that too, 'cause we ain't in Kansas no more.
Oh, this is scary.
What the f is that sound? You can hear that, right?
Yeah, what is that?
I've got no idea.
That is strange.
What is that sound? Holy shit!
Now, a while ago, Project Bluebeam, or the Voice of God weapon, was a device that they created to project voices into your head. Along with it, they have advanced lasers that can actually carry sound and produce 3D images on any screen, surface, landscape, or place, and the results were said to be extremely realistic, lifelike, and nothing compared to what consumers have. Even the people who do not think anything of it still say it's a very creepy thing to think of a scenario that projecting voices might work well on. You see, most people don't even know this was made, y'all. Devices like this they're just-in-case weapons. They're toys, just in case they have to defend themselves from us or need us to step back in line. They've used our religions against us since the beginning. It's documented, and we find the machine to do it with is, well, it exists, and that's very sad. To try and stop this now would be a waste of time and effort, because to the scientific community, like these things that they have, and the little etheric world and all the messing with stuff and projecting voices and all that, it's like blood in the water to a bunch of sharks, and they're in a frenzy. Really. Now, is there any proof that this thing was used, in conjunction with this spirit realm thing? Well, yeah, Operation Fire Sign. Read it. Take from it what you will, pause it to check out the stupid that's on it. A few things caught my eyes, like how they felt it was in their power or authority to do what they please. They outright proposed ways of handling a bunch of us undesirable peasants, persuading elections, all that good stuff. It's slightly criminal, I assure you. But on the last page, the executive summary. Now, this is from the Benenson Group. This is what they were recommending salvage for Mrs. Clinton. And you can see the top part up there. Scenarios: Red Dawn, Cobalt Rain, BL Riot, Zeke-pocalypse, Sharia escalation, and unnatural disaster. What got me the most of all that drama? The unnatural disaster. That's the one I didn't like. HARP is a skeleton crew. Subterranean thermobaric devices and fracking mines are untested. Surveys suggest this might not stop Trump voters. What are the risks and issues with it? Well, unproven techniques, unintended consequences, and reactivating HARP may have pale horse protocol ramifications. Take from that what you will, but I'm sure that's not good. For almost 2 decades, the Department of Defense and NASA have coordinated on a black book project under the codename Firesign. Firesign's aim is to create a religious awe effect in enemy populations to create an instantaneous psychological soft kill. Now, the operation uses high-powered lasers to project real-seeming images on the sodium layer 100 kilometers above the Earth. What the hell is the sodium layer? These images can cover hundreds or even thousands of square miles and can appear completely real, three-dimensional, and can move. These visual cues are augmented with pulsed ELF electromagnetic emissions that attack the specific areas of the prefrontal cortex that are stimulated during religious experience. In limited tests, subjects have been able to be overwhelmed on both axis of vastness and a powerful need for accommodation. The mix of these two will produce inaction, lack of focus on self or individual interaction, and gross transformations in mental equilibrium, a road to Damascus experience. What in the hell does a road to Damascus experience? Oh my God, they're so weird. The ability to produce these effects across 23% of the continental United States is the objective of fire sign, and field tests in the Levant have proven successful. The fire sign scenario is that of an invading extraterrestrial force of nearly incomprehensible scale. Massive floating cities descending, God-sized walkers among the clouds with terrifying weapons, wheels of fire and eyes, etc. This phenomenon, when activated, will bring electoral and social systems to a halt, and in afflicted areas will permit a narrative wherein the President of the United States is able to call a halt to the invasion and then hand over the torch to Clinton, providing a basic continuity of state. The aftermath of fire sign will be the psychological subjugation of areas where uprisings are most likely to occur. The induced trauma of fire sign will produce ample cover to government and NGOs who will be providing aid, psychotropic to induce docility, and counseling services which will ensure further domestication. Seriously? Now, when they're not playing God or with their bugs and spaceships, in their spare time, they go to places like CERN and its little brother, Fermilab, that's located just outside Chicago, Illinois. Now, Fermilab, or the Firmament Laboratory, and don't let that go without sinking in, is the host of the multi-billion-dollar deep underground neutrino experiment. It's now underway. Now, those neutrino machines can send as well as receive. One we know of is in Antarctica. Now, I did a video on it with the man from Raytheon. It appears that these are used for earthquakes. It's basically Tesla's design that he got in trouble for in New York when he caused an earthquake. That was in 1898. Now, can you believe this is all public information? People, they don't give a damn anymore. You know, they got things to debunk 120-year-old newspaper reports, you know. I mean, they have it all. Fact checkers. Now on April 8th, along with CERN, they're going to perform a set of full-power test shots, seeking out those other dimensions during that few-minute time of that eclipse. I mean, there's no grown-ups around, just if you wanted to know. No, absolutely not. No one there. No grown-ups whatsoever. You have to see what they're doing, and with purpose, searching for other dimensions during the correct sun, moon, and star positions, just like they've done since the beginning. They want the pathway or the key to the prisoner's holding cells, however it strikes you. Their tablets and scrolls tell them just when and where to do this. Just like ours tells us what's what, well, so does theirs. And with all that's going on in the world today, it shows just how much these people are as gods in their minds. A human evolved from slime on a rock. We're so smart. And there's no one in on their conscience that they're going to have to answer to. That's why whatever gets done is probably going to be the most irresponsible and ignorant thing that they can think of, because they're godless, and most of them are just doing it because everyone else is doing it, and that's it. Now, the Underground Collider, which has been there since the 1960s, was the largest in operation until CERN topped them around 2011. Now, something strange happened. Now, in 2022, they finished installing these 600-ton magnet upgrades, and construction's been constant. Back then, it was already a $40 billion facility. Most of it, like you could have guessed, is underground. And they claim if something goes wrong, they're deep under the earth, so it should be okay. Now, apparently, someone told them that they can do this. I don't know.
Coach Klein said I could. Mr. Coach Klein said I could. It's fine.
Now, the people here together at any given day, they make millions of dollars. They have nothing to show for it either. When a normal, everyday person, just looks their way and wonders how such waste is allowed, questions their intentions, or asks, what have you done lately? It's ignored. They are even mocked and ridiculed. You don't understand. This is a very long process. It's usually by those with a stake in it all, or those who believe in the cause. When questioned on their contribution to society, they come up with these countless excuses for their failures. They signal virtue in the accomplishments that are meaningless to humanity, and are on such a ridiculous scale we won't see any of their science benefit one single soul will have one in our lifetimes. Now, we keep giving them money and it's absolutely nuts. And I know some people are going to say they use them for treatment of diseases and so on, but get the hell out of here with that. If anything, they're poisoning people because the cures are already known to exist, so there. Now in 2023, after the Department of Energy learned how to use this machine without blowing themselves up, they denied entry or use of the collider to anyone else and even the public. The grounds, all that, it's all off limits now. And 2,500 physicists and scientists are no longer allowed to use the facility. And this took place literally just after the major power and magnet upgrades were installed. But oh no, nothing to see here, just the honorable U.S. government at work. And they admit everything because they have no shame. They never hid it from us in the first place. They only omitted a lot of things. Now, over the years, several physicists and scientists have written extensively on the dangers of smashing atoms or particles together, like Stephen Hawking. But they told him he was wrong about it being dangerous to make black holes, and he need not worry about what they do in the spirit realm. Stephen was just crazy. Who cares? And this is all grown people doing this. This is grown folks who should know better. And how absurd is it to do? But in my book, even more absurd if you're them, expecting something good to come from it. Now, billions are thrown away worldwide every year, both here and at CERN. But like you, I thought, all this money being spent, I mean, the spirit world's fake, right? Well, I guess until lately that is, along with aliens too. So what happens when we collide things, that like in nature would not be done? Or what happens when we create huge toroidal or magnetic fields on the earth? Is that what's wrong with the world right now and why we see like prophecies coming true? I don't know, but it seems oddly relevant to me. You ever wonder why everything needs to be understood by science? Yeah, I think it's because they have to come up with a good explanation to keep the show going. Because if everyone knew the truth and knew that they were as ignorant as they were on a subject, well, they wouldn't be needed or listened to, would they? Keeping your eyes closed to the real world, that seems to be their main mission, and nothing else. Why do I make this claim? Well, if you're a scientist today, know this. Wild Dog is going to tell you to your face. No one in their right mind would let another human being, or animal for that matter, suffer while they hide the cure or spend the money that could relieve their suffering. You freaking ass clowns. You got me? Just wanted to get that off my chest, because man, it irritates me so badly that no one wants to have these people accountable for what they're doing. No, you want to put them up on a pedestal and act like, oh, they're going to save us all. No, that is not what's happening. They are just as guilty as all of our military and the people who are in the shadows. Now, I also find it very telling about history and the warnings of this etheric realm and what it contains in it, and how it's ignored by these so-called wise men of our day. So is it what we're told? Are they thinking foolishly? I doubt it very seriously that they're just teasing, okay? These aren't street smart people, but they are book smart. They know exactly what they're doing. They have specific intent. They just have no friends to tell them they look crazy, and we know what's up. If you listen to half of what they say, you'll see that they're completely understanding of what could possibly go wrong. And they even know how it looks to the public. But with the ones in power giving them permission to do these things, don't worry about them. Under that protection, and with no friends but themselves, well, they don't care. It's just past the point of no return now. And this is not going to stop until they either achieve what they want or something bad happens and ends it all. And that's 8 billion lives that they're juggling with. So let it be recorded that we could feed the world 10 times over. We could give out houses and cars to every family in need with the amount of money scientists and researchers waste every day of ours. And I haven't forgot about the all-stars of the show either. And I almost forgot. Now, during the eclipse, NASA and friends will be busy too. They just so happen to be shooting off 3 rockets named after a fallen angel, APEP or Apollo. Nobody knows why they do that. I don't know. The Snake or Space Agency said 3 rockets will launch as a part of the atmospheric APEP missions. The rockets will be tasked in taking observations of how the sudden drop in sunlight affects the ionosphere. APEP was the ancient Egyptian deity of darkness and chaos, enemy of truth. Also the same deity as the bottomless pit or underworld angel. What does that have to do with the ionosphere, you might ask? Well, not a damn thing. You know, anytime I wonder what their issue is, I always think to myself, I mean, you knew it was a snake, right? And don't laugh, you pay for this garbage too. I mean, hell, I expect a full report of the freaking effects on the ionosphere from an eclipse from the angel of the bottomless pit as soon as they freaking get it. God, I'm going to be sick. Shit. Now, my friends, it's in our nature to do this, to play with things that are deadly to us, and that's probably why humans call God our Father and we His children, because look at us. We're like a bunch of kids. If there was ever a red button and it said, do not press or the world will disappear, it will eventually be pressed by one of us. Wise men would debate it. Scientists would eventually feel as if they were so smart, they had found a way around all the warnings, all of the, you know, they would press it. Or some mad person would just show up and, hell, talk everybody into pressing it with them. And that's why I hope God put a fail-safe in place, just in case everything goes wrong, just in case there are no good men standing around. And I know I'm not the only one who sees, by their own mouths they claim it. The earth is unleashing her fury, and everything on it is getting weaker, older, and wearing out. Not better or renewing itself, no, it's failing, just like our time here. Just as we were told too. Now, is that a sign to the ones who can see it? I don't know. I think when it was written for us, it wasn't the Most High that was to come and destroy us after all. We don't read it correctly. It says, if it not for God cutting the time short of His arrival, there would be no flesh left on earth. Obviously, that happens because of what we do. I don't know. It seems right to me. I don't know. I say be glad you live in a world where there are allegedly things like that exist. Aliens and spirit beings. Because if they didn't, wouldn't it be sort of heart-sinking to think about? I mean, seriously, it proves the stories we've been told, like our faith we have, is real. No matter your religion. One of them is correct, I assure you that. Some of them's going to be okay, and some people are in deep shit. Promise you that. And it is what it is. You know, don't freak out when it all goes down. Add that we got the clown show in charge. There's no telling what's going to pop off, so don't freak out about it. They're doing exactly what's written. And always remember, there's nothing or nobody that's considered a new arrival here, so let's not be fooled about that. Now, to those who think these aliens, if they in fact exist, okay, I'll give you that much. If you think they care about you or I, if this is all going on, if you think they care, I say that would be the worst assumption ever, because it's obvious. All these years and they didn't lift a finger to anyone to help with sickness or death, a war, a mass extermination. I mean, if they were good-natured and friends to humans, do you think they would have been hanging out with the scum of the earth? Not at all. If they could give life, you think that they would, you know, come billions of light years to be held back, to be told not to help us by the U.S. government and NATO? Give me a freaking break, y'all. And one thing's for sure is this. There's good and evil in everything. So if they exist, it's probably both good and bad, just like we're told. And, well, we're going to soon see anyway, I promise that much. And I won't be least surprised. Either way it goes, I will not be surprised. It's through it all, I believe, what's hidden from us, it's the most basic fact on this earth. And one that was supposed to be known by all men. And that's that we're programmed, right? You know, to know. I mean, it's in your heart what's real. Just what they choose to tell us is real is what we get. The secret to the universe, and I've said it many times. It's not the secret knowledge to be as gods or the knowledge about your pineal gland or anything else for that matter. Hell, man doesn't know half of what they claim they do. The true secret of the ages is the knowledge of that other place. The etheric realm. Other beings, other lands, and that God the Creator and all His creations, good or bad, actually exist. Also another scarier secret, because we know the real story. There are the little g gods that are truly stranded entities in this etheric realm. The beings, or whatever they are, friends to some and, well, enemies to all. And I don't want to be a fool either. Nothing's impossible here. Given the extent we've been lied to, who knows what it's all about? But never stop searching for answers, and keep an open mind about it all, but not too open. Sometimes when I sit and think about how this place has seen it all, I wonder how many things have truly come and gone from here. You know, but to open a doorway or a portal to another realm and see what's on the other side, that seems like a bad idea. And with what's happening worldwide in one place after another, and in places it's not supposed to, something's definitely brewing. I feel as if a doorway has already been opened, because they quit doing scientific studies. It's just chaos and madness, you know. Now, if history and our grandfathers told us correctly, we humans are about to release the prisoners. And the ones that are claimed to be locked up, it's not a good idea to do that because they're dangerous. Hell, they're the ones that taught us everything we know about the stuff that we shouldn't be doing. And it's how we got in this mess in the first place. And my heart sinks knowing that they're actually going to show up in the end, just like we were told they would. It's just I didn't think it'd be one of us that's doing it to ourselves, you know. I don't know. These are just thoughts I had and the sort of stuff that goes on in the shadows of the crazy world you live in. And sorry I rambled so long again. That's what I needed to say. My love to you all. I'm Wild Dog, and I am out of here.